Karthik, did you want to take a question to Mr. Dubey? And whilst we're at it, let me also just apprise the viewers that we also have another guest that's joining us on the broadcast, Region Pal Singh, author and IT expert. A very warm welcome to you. Karthik, over to you, to your question to either of the panelists.
Right, gentlemen. So, whoever wants to take it first, I think we'll just stick to Mr. Dubey for one last minute. Mr. Dubey, can we be very certain at this point that this is a coordinated impact because it is affecting the cloud services and it is impacting the retail level users? Or do you think there is a chance, if not a high probability, but at least the plausibility of these being very different incidents?
No, definitely these two are connected. See, and that's why I mentioned that this could be a very well coordinated attack because it is actually disrupting cloud. To disrupt a cloud service is not that simple. You can't make a simple DDoS attack to take it down. It requires at least some zero-days vulnerability which can exploit this at the core level and can disrupt this entirely. I think this has happened. Now, what was that zero-days vulnerability? Why was it not released or it was not known to Microsoft? Why was it not fixed? All these things will actually be investigated later, but I'm sure that this is not just a DDoS attack just to take it down. It is way beyond that. It is something different. And it is not also a normal technical glitch. Because of the distributed network, it cannot disrupt entire cloud all of a sudden. This is something which is actually, the entire cloud service is designed not to have this situation. It is actually, we go to cloud only because of this reason. Otherwise, you would have placed everything in data centers or on-prem infrastructures. But we go to cloud because nobody can take entire cloud network down all of a sudden. So we always have some backups. We always have some other data centers where these things could move softly, swiftly. And that's why this is designed in that way. The entire architecture is that way. But this shows that this has been hampered at the core level, and this entire distributed mechanism has failed. And that's why all these services are down all of a sudden. So I'm sure it is much more articulated attack. It is not just a DDoS.
All right. Let's also bring in Srijan Pal Singh into the conversation. What, according to you, sir, is going to be the most immediate ramification? What are we looking at, the possible outcomes, and how dangerous is this external interference that we're talking about? Coordinated or non-coordinated, it certainly has brought about 70% of the globe to a grinding halt.
Absolutely. It's a very, very critical juncture. In fact, this is being dubbed as the biggest IT breakdown ever in humanity. So it's a historic event which has happened. Now, where do we go from here? First of all, if this is a coordinated attack, is this the end of the attack, or there is more to come? So first of all, we need to protect all the systems which are functioning. We must remember all the Apple-based systems are still functioning. So we have to, first of all, ensure that the things which are still in order, they're still functioning, they remain to be in function, and there is no further coordinated attack to which we fall victim to. The second would be in terms of, critical services such as healthcare, 911, airline industry, even in India has been disrupted, hotel services have been disrupted. How do we immediately bring them back to peace? That's the number two thing. And I think we've been discussing already about the ramifications in terms of investigating how does this happen. How did a cloud service, which is there exactly for, I think your previous guest, I think Mr. Dubey was, or Mr. Dubey was saying, that, it's designed for a fail-safe mechanism. So how does the entire cloud service go bunk? That is going to be a critical thing, not just for Microsoft, but for others as well. We need to figure out if there's a potential attack, how did they get access into the system? Was it an internal process? What is a sabotage? Was it something which was completely external? Is it coordinated by what agencies are involved? All these things will come up. Because remember, it's not just the Microsoft, agency, the company is suffering, but so much of wealth has been lost, so much of disruption has been created in the global order. And that is something we must figure out how to recover and never let it happen again.
No, you're absolutely right. And as we speak, gentlemen, my own computer screen is glitching at this point in time. Websites are loading, not loading, and we've got that picture to the left sides of the screens as well. A Go Indigo ticket that's been handwritten, it's been manually drawn out. That's the boarding pass, and that's the situation. Imagine the amount of people and the tourists that are stranded at this point in time. But in terms of ransom, Karthik, you earlier asked that question as well. I'm picking up some reports, about 24 hours ago, where a CDK globally reportedly paid $25 million as ransom, and this is a software provider for US car dealerships. Do you think more ransom, news is going to now prop up? Is that the way to go when we're looking at cyber attacks and at this mega level that's so coordinated? Karthik, to you.
I mean, one would hate to fear that, but the fear is definitely not unfounded, Kabir. I think, that is the eventual fear with digital technologies, with data, with the proliferation of technology and how it is so deeply embedded in everybody's life across the world that, that the next fear is exactly that. Because if you can break through the firewalls and if you can enter at a core platform level, the architecture of a cloud server and a cloud-based application, how difficult is it for you to go one step further and access what is on it? So access deniability is just one part of it, but gaining unlawful access to what is in it is a different animal altogether. And if that happens to be the case, then then you've got pretty much governments across the world, at your beck and call for whatever ransom demands that the cyber criminals may have. But again, I think at this point it is fairly assumptuous and presumptuous to state that this is a cyber attack. We don't have an official confirmation on that. Perhaps it could just be a system update gone wrong. Perhaps it could be a technical glitch. So right now, while the doomsday scenarios could be built up, Kabir, I think, we'll have to wait for the official word on this particular incident from Microsoft globally. Because as I'm talking to you, reports are also coming in that the London Stock Exchange is impacted and transactions on the London Stock Exchange are not going through because apparently even that runs on the Microsoft Azure platform. So we know for certain there is disruption. There is massive large-scale disruption across the world, both developed nations as well as developing countries. The parent country of Microsoft, the US, stock markets across the world, including London, flight disruptions from Europe to Australia to US as well as India. So we know that the impact of this particular incident